Mark was the teacher at the American school in Moscow. He got arrested upon landing at Sheremetyevo Airport in August of 2021, carrying, I think, 17 grams of marijuana. He was then convicted to 14 years in a Russian penal colony. And we have been trying to get him released ever since for reasons that remain a mystery. Mark was not designated wrongfully detained. The election somehow changed that. And the factors that go into that, it's a matter of speculation, I think, at this point. But the election changed that because that's around when the designation was made. And then we had what we have today, which is a release in a manner that Russia had never really released an American before. We had a plane flight from the United States to Moscow through all of the airspace that typically is blocked. So there are no, nonstop flights like there used to be. And the special envoy for Middle Eastern affairs, Steve Witkoff, plane picking him up and bringing him back to Washington. Pretty nice plane, I'll tell you, because that's a long way to fly nonstop, and only the finest planes are able to do that. And the plane landed in Moscow, sat on the ground for a few hours, and then took off from Moscow and flew, as I understand it, over Europe and en route to Washington, where it should be landing shortly. He was able to get in touch with a number of people, including his mom, his wife. So everybody's very excited. Best part, Mark gave them the news himself from the plane. Picture speaks for itself. Mark's a guy who likes nice things, and he's always been in all of our phone calls missing certain luxuries that you just do not get in a Russian penal colony, as you wouldn't in any prison. And I think that moment really, they say, picture is worth 1,000 words, and that moment symbolizes getting back to a regular life. But that is a testament to doing things differently and really making us wonder, does it really need to be so hard? Because that's what we've been told for the last 3.5 years. It is so hard. You don't understand. You cannot really talk to the Russians like that. You cannot negotiate with the Russians in that way. You don't understand. This is impossible. This is so difficult. How much of that is the Russians and how much of that is a problem of our own making? Look at the last 3 weeks. How many people did we get back? We just had Rick Grenell in Caracas fly back with 6 Americans. Nothing in return. So Mark's mother, Marc Fogel, 95 years old, she thought she would never be alive to see her son again. Marc was in Butler, Pennsylvania in July of 2024 when the president got shot. She was on stage and she witnessed that. I am not aware, and I don't think it happened, that Marc or other family members were attending any of the Kamala Harris events. I'm not aware of an invitation to attend those events.
Today was a very good day, and we're going to build on it, drawing inspiration and continued courage from it for all of those who are held hostage or wrongfully detained around the world. And that includes Marc Fogel, who we are actively working to get his release from Russia as well. And
where the National Security Advisor got on the podium and said that they will continue to fight for Americans that are wrongfully detained, I think it's in a White House transcript. That includes Marc Fogel. The next day, we reach out to State Department, the White House. Oh my God, well, thank God that finally government has decided to designate him. This is wonderful. This is literally what was just stated from the White House podium. The feedback that we got was that the National Security Advisor had misspoken and no designation came. Mark's case was not unlike Brittany Grinder's case. One had medically prescribed marijuana. The other one had oil cannabis. But at the end of the day, the concept was the same, which is the basis for the wrongful detention designation. Well, he's such a happy, optimistic, and positive person. I don't think he's going to have that difficult of a time getting back to normal. Of course, the experience is horrible and traumatizing for anyone, but I've never seen somebody want to be alive and wanting to be back more than Mark. So obviously, the government, the State Department, through the envoy of hostage affairs, provides a lot of support for people that go through this experience and their families. And that's, part of the support is before a release, but a lot of the resources that go in are after the release. And they do a really, really good job from what I hear about supporting the families and those wrongfully detained when they come home. So now they'll get to shine and show us that.